Okay, we're back, and with us tonight we have the esteemed film critic from the Nashville scene, Mr. Jim Ridley. Welcome, Jim.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And Martin, you know Jim.
I know Jim. I think the whole city knows Jim. He's everyone's favorite film critic. You know?
Now they know me as the honorary third guy who doesn't know crap about movies.
Well, okay, I want to say this before we go on too. We're declaring a moratorium on the quarter thing for you. Okay, that only applies to us. If we use a word that's a little hoity-toity or anything,
we're not supposed to.
We're not supposed to. But you, I mean,
Me being the pretentious bastard that I am.
you being the real film critic, you know, you're allowed. And I do want to say too,
I was just admiring your mise en scène.
I'm looking at the quarters, but that doesn't apply to you. No, seriously, you just say whatever you want. And I'm not trying to kiss up to you or anything, but I really, of all the film critics in town, I find yours the most interesting and the most accessible too. Being a guy who doesn't know crap about movies.
Well, thank you. Actually, I mean, I feel pretty lucky to be in Nashville because I think there are a lot of really talented critics here in town. I mean, you know, I work with two absolutely awesome film writers, Noel Murray and Donna Bowman. You know, at the Rage here in town, you've got Jason Shawn, who also writes for the scene. You've got Dana Kopp Franklin, Jonathan Lampley. You know, you've got a lot of really talented people here. I mean, probably disproportionately for the number of, actual readers we have here.
And now you have us too.
Bingo.
Don't forget us.
I didn't.
Two guys who don't know crap about films. So, Martin.
Yeah.
Did you have some questions for Jim?
I have a million questions for Jim. I've often wondered. I think I have the kind of question I would ask any sort of luminary. It's like,
we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Did you start reviewing films like at a young age? Is it? I have this vision of you as a young kid who was like in the movie theater on Saturday afternoons, just kind of soaking it all in. Does that ring true?
Oh, absolutely. I grew up in Murfreesboro, and you're having my brother Reed on, who's a filmmaker. Next week.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of us, we had a family friend who ran a movie theater in Murfreesboro, and our parents would take us over there all the time. And so we grew up seeing movies whenever we could. We tried to go every weekend, and it didn't always work out, but you know, we both just loved movies from about as early an age as I can remember. I remember Reed and I going to see Live and Let Die in 1971.
Oh yeah,
together.
James Bond movie. Of
Absolutely.
Course. Yeah, that's
so.
That's a coming of age experience, I guess, to see a Bond movie. Maybe
when you were how old?
When let's see, I would have been 6 and he would have been 4.
Wow.
So
wow.
And we grew up together just watching. I don't know if you remember this, but TV in the 70s, like local TV, as far as like the movies you got to see, was amazing. It was so much different than the variety you get now because all the film libraries hadn't been bought up. So you could watch, you know, Channel 5 late at night, and you'd see like all these movies that are acclaimed as like 70s gems now, you know, things like, you know, Wanda and Loving and Slaughterhouse-5 and things like that.
Because I should mention Reed's a filmmaker.
Reed is a filmmaker.
No, were you ever a filmmaker? Did you ever partake of the art?
No, I mean, my one experience, Reed called me on my birthday 2 years ago, I think, and said, you know, guess what? For your birthday, you're going to help me make a 48-hour film, and I just went into instant paralysis. But I'll tell you this: the experience of working with Reed not only gave me more respect for what he does, but what all filmmakers do. I mean, it's just, you know, well, you would know this because you're a filmmaker, but to me, the scariest thing about making movies was unlimited choice. There's this. This movie at the Belcourt showed this year called The Five Obstructions, where Lars von Trier, the Danish filmmaker, gets one of his idols to remake a short film that he made, but he imposes all these artificial restrictions on him every time, so it ends up being completely different. And the one time, the filmmaker's name is Jørgen Leth, and the one time he really screws this guy up, he gives him the freedom to do anything, no restrictions. You know, just go out and make a film. And the guy is just like at sea. And so if you're making a film and you have to fill 10 minutes, but you don't have any guidelines whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Well, there's an
Especially if you have to complete it in 24
I
hours.
think it's called Vision or something.
well,
right?
that, and also there's a definite advantage.
You guys make it look so easy.
Well, no, there's a definite advantage to being the filmmaker and the editor, which I do both. So that way, if I screw
Well,
up,
the
on a-
writer too, I would imagine.
yeah, but more so the filmmaker as the director as well as the editor, because if I screw up while I'm directing, I can usually fix it in editing. I can fix it in post. Whereas a lot of filmmakers,
Post.
I'm going to put a quarter.
Yeah,
in
that's
the- in the-
Oh,
It's not a
Psych.
big word, but it's a film word. I know. Post production. Yeah. When you go to post production, you can fix a lot of things that you screwed up while you're shooting, and so I have that advantage. Whereas a lot of directors, they rely heavily on their editor, and if the editor doesn't see things the way they do, then it may not end up the way they intend.
well, it was really fun to watch Reed edit his movie because I'd never seen I know just what I've read about editing and everything and what documentaries I've seen and so forth, but to actually see somebody sitting there with all these, all these choices of what they could put where and how to assemble them was just, it was like being in a toy shop to me. It was just fascinating.
We need to wrap it up. I'm sorry. I mean, you're great.
I think Jim has an all-access pass to come back to
Oh,
this
please
show.
do.
Well, you've got my wallet.
and you're not getting it back.
We'll hold it ransom. I mean, there's so many ways we could go with this. I mean, I love discussing his role as a reviewer.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate angle. But then as just an intelligent human being, he's got all these things to say.
Definitely, yeah, because you're what we want to be, actually. We want to know what we're talking about at some point. Right for now, we're just, two guys who don't know crap about movies, but you're the real deal, and we love having you on, seriously.
I was just impressed to find out Seabiscuit is a horse. So.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
Thanks
Thanks
for
a lot,
coming.
Mark.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you on our show.
And Martin, I guess that's a wrap. Let me do my, I haven't done this in a while.
Done it
okay.
again.
That's a wrap. All right, we're
Okay.
just two guys
Guys
who don't know crap about movies.
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 Movies,
All right.
movies.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we are back. And whoa, look who's here.
Wow. Where these guys come from?
Man.
Straight from the Oscars.
Okay. This is, by the way, this is our Oscar show, our special Oscar presentation. We're in the second half of the show, and we are honored to have both Ridleys here, not just one, but both.
That almost never happens.
It never happens. They're never in the same place. We thought that you were the same person at one time because you never see you guys in the same place.
We're kind of like Clark Kent and Superman, depending who's who. But I would say more accurately is you're desperate to have both of us here.
It's so cool to have you both here. You've been in the same studio here, but on different shows. So this is the first time you've actually
Yes,
been
he
on the
shot
same
one week and I shot another week.
Yeah. The magic of television. So we've got Jim Ridley, the film critic for the Nashville Scene, with us, and brother Reed Ridley, filmmaker extraordinaire, actor, cinematographer,
Camera hog.
camera hog, and wearer of fine jewelry.
Wearer of fine jewelry.
That's very nice. Okay, and you just tapped on your microphone.
Well, tonight we are, you're two guys who don't know crap about movies. Tonight we're two guys who don't know crap about the Oscars.
We're
So
here.
it's loser
Oh,
take
no.
all.
Oh,
tonight.
no.
No, we're here to talk.
We're taking
you're-
you down, pretty boy.
You're here because you're the experts, okay?
It's a Tennessee tornado chainsaw death match.
We're just going to
Reed,
wind you up.
would this be a good point to ask you how many of the Best Picture nominees you have actually seen?
I have accidentally seen two of them.
Oh.
Which two were they?
I saw Munich
Okay.
and I saw Cinderella Man.
Which is not nominated.
Cinderella
for
Man is
Best
not
Picture.
nominated.
Cinderella Man is nominated, I believe, for Best Supporting Actor, which would be Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
right. But we were talking about
Movies.
Best Picture.
Films.
Right.
Yeah, the best films.
Best Pictures.
Because
Film snobs.
it would take
Oh, yeah.
Where's your little can, man?
Yeah, I'm impressed that you brought notes, though. That's very cool.
Dude,
That is good.
Okay, I'm pimping it.
Believe me, we're going to need
We're
them.
going at, because he's coming from the auteur,
Right.
the critic side.
Right.
I'm coming from the producer side. Nothing but numbers, cold and heartless,
Okay.
betting with my mind. I'm just going on what the line is
Okay.
from the different
Gotcha.
bookies and some stats I got.
So I should make this disclaimer at the outset. Pay no attention to any of the predictions I make.
Okay.
Bet on Reed.
All right. Even though he's
right.
only seen one of the movies that's nominated, he's going to know.
For Best Picture.
Best
One for
Well,
Best
and
Picture.
Oh, for Best Picture?
Okay.
No, only one.
Okay.
But I think this would be a good follow-up just to see how our predictions,
Yeah, absolutely.
what the
Right.
outcome is.
Well, first, let's just see if Jim actually saw all 5 movies
Of
nominated
course
for
he
Best
saw all
Picture.
5
Yes,
movies.
Well, I
did
just want to
see
make
all
sure.
5
It's his job.
Okay. Well,
Man,
yes.
this is
Okay.
like back in college. You always did your homework.
No, I didn't. Well, what I was going to say was
Yeah.
that I think, Reed's being here without having seen, having seen only one of the Best Pictures,
Right.
and yet, he's going to be able to predict in every category, is kind of indicative of what the Oscars have become. They've essentially become a horse race.
And
Right.
dare I say, I think my school of thought will be more accurate because what any book you will tell you is, you bet with your heart, you're a sucker. You bet with your mind, you're a winning boy.
Okay. Let's. I'm
Winning
gonna.
boys magic.
I'm gonna go over the.
Sucker should be stamped on my forehead. So.
I'm gonna go over the
No,
5
I've changed
nominees
it.
here too, so everyone will know what we're talking about. Okay. First and then we'll go back and talk about them. First we got.
Should I sign them for the deaf audience at home?
If you'd like, that'd be great. Okay. We've got. We'll start with Brokeback Mountain. Okay. Then we've got Munich.
Yeah, you touched that one.
Yes.
No, no.
A politically incorrect television show. We've got Capote. Okay.
Al Capone?
And we've got Good Night and Good Luck.
Yeah, which is what we should be saying about
Yeah,
it.
about the show. And then my favorite and JD's favorite also, Crash. Okay.
Yeah.
I would predict
Before we
that.
start talking about the movies,
Yeah.
can we talk about one thing?
Yes.
Okay. Who is the Academy? Who is it made up of? Right? It's like 6,500 members of where do these people come
I
from?
don't think it's near that many people, is it?
It's up there. But I mean, are these
No, I thought it
actors,
was less
producers?
than 3,500.
Who votes on the
Because
Oscars?
It's by invitation only. It's technicians, actors, producers, and directors.
So it's likely someone could actually vote for their own movie, right?
Oh,
yes.
yeah. In fact, you'd be an idiot if you
didn't.
didn't. I mean, that's the only way Spielberg won for Schindler's List.
But there have also been reports of people who don't fill out their own ballots. Hand them off to a secretary and just say, send this in for
Yeah.
me.
In fact, who is the famous actor that publicly said he doesn't fill out his ballot, he hands it off to his wife? I mean, it's someone like Donald Sutherland, or I mean, it's someone on, really good on that level that's like, no, I never.
Well, it's probably bad luck for some people. It's like the jinxing themselves if they vote for themselves, superstition or something.
Well, it's the kind of thing to where I actually called the Academy today, wanted clarity on this. It's like to nominate, you can only nominate within your category. So actors are the only ones that can nominate actors. Directors are the only ones that can nominate directors.
Oh, okay.
Producers are the only ones that can nominate Best Picture. But in the categories, all can vote.
Oh.
Which is why you often see, the spectacle of actors turned directors frequently winning Oscars because they have lots of actors voting for them. And,
Right.
poor Martin Scorsese has just been dogged both the past times he's been nominated. He lost to an actor turned director both times.
Yeah.
Well, it's because nobody likes him.
Well, yeah.
I love his
What's he ever
movies.
done?
I mean, it is a small thing. I forget the actual number, but I think it's actually less than 4,500.
Okay.
Or the Academy members. So, I mean, look at the national elections. It's like what, less than or 10 or 12% voted last time, and that was a record turnout.
Well, and that was another point I wanted to make about the Oscars is that they're held up as this big measure of of artistic standards and everything. When as Reed says, they're sort of like the election process. You start out with a huge field of candidates, some of which people like a lot more than others.
Yeah.
But you're not voting for the best person. You're voting for the person most likely to get the most amount of votes. Yeah. And if the four of us went around and named what we thought was the best movie of last year, I doubt we would come to a consensus.
Right.
Well, especially since I only saw one of them.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And thanks for being prepared.
But that wouldn't
by the
keep
way.
you from
Right.
voting,
Andy
though.
said
You can
that.
still vote.
Dog, my stats,
All
my
right.
numbers here are going
Okay.
I'm telling you, he's a.
He's
You
okay.
can check my stats. Rolling in a
Let's-
Fleetwood is how I Mac.
Let's talk about the movies. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Well, what I was going to say was that I saw you at you and I were like, I think the only two people at the New World the time.
Yeah,
I saw
and I
it.
was sorry that I was one of those two people.
I love that movie.
Okay,
And,
it didn't work
see,
for me.
and that's what I was going to
But-
say. The New World, I think, is like the best American movie in years.
Wow.
And,
Really?
and
Yeah, I saw you smiling back there.
I
See, now I want to see. I mean, Wes.
now you want to see it to see how much you hate it instead of just how.
Well, no, now I want to see it. I mean, Wes Studi's in this next project we're doing, but I didn't go see this film, even though I love period pieces and I love the genre. But so many people told me that it was like
But that's
the
but
most
that's the thing.
laughable film.
What?
But that's the thing. It's a movie that people
right.
it's a movie
It
that
was.
people either despise or adore, and I adored it.
Yeah.
And
How many movies has
Yeah.
Terrence Malick made? Like 4?
4 in the past 30, almost 35 years.
The guy is amazing.
32
I think.
years.
I think the
So
movie was
numbers
he's
matter
gorgeous.
to you so much? I mean, how many films did Hitchcock make?
No, I'm just wondering. I'm just saying that's ridiculous that he's only made 4 movies in so many years.
Oh,
but-
it's well, but my point is that I would the New World would be my best picture vote in a heartbeat, but you wouldn't vote for it.
Really?
Eventually, we would have to go down the line till we could find a movie that we both agreed on that would get enough votes. And-
Even though
and,
Colin Farrell is such a horrible choice for John Smith.
there's something about him that works. I mean,
I mean,
he's
it has
cast-
all the historical accuracy of like a Disney cartoon.
but he's cast for those big eyes and,
Yeah.
and
Charisma and-
it works. I mean, I'm not trying to hijack the show onto the New World. You could do a whole show on the New
Wasn't the
World.
girl just mesmerizing them?
And she so
She
got
had
robbed
She had
for
that deformed lip. you
no,
know?
it wasn't
She had
deformed.
that-
It was awesome.
It
That
was
big,
a
thick-
deformed lip.
she got completely robbed for Best Actress. She was my favorite performance.
because nobody
of
can
the
say
year.
her name. What the
Yeah,
hell?
I was wearing
No, I don't think that's the
Kilcher.
reason. I mean, have you all taken Native American history?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
why not?
I
You
am a
took
Native.
everything else
I am a
from
Native
them.
American. What do you want to know?
wow,
You took everything else from them. Why not take that too?
wow. Okay, let's
All
talk
right.
about the movies.
Yeah,
Best
good
Picture.
idea.
Okay, so let's start with Brokeback Mountain. That's on everybody's lips, so to speak. So let's.
Well, is it one of those scenes?
What is
Well,
it
it was
about this?
buggery.
What is it about this movie?
This movie has 8 Oscar nominations, more than any other movie that's nominated this year. What's the appeal?
What's the appeal? Brokeback Mountain to me is just it's just a piece of classical Hollywood movie making. I mean, it looks like something that, apart from like the temporarily explicit sex. I mean, it looks like a '50s Hollywood movie, and it's
About man-on-man love.
that's right, about spit lubed anal sex, and
Well, he spit lubes it.
Yeah.
yeah, you'll
But
love
even
it.
that wasn't that
That's
graphic.
not cool,
Even
man.
that
I don't
wasn't-
even do that with chicks.
I mean, they
man.
were were clothed when they were doing it. You know?
Well, but I think it's just the first time I saw it, I was kind of underwhelmed by it, and I liked it pretty well, but it's just so quiet and so reserved, and I saw it in a 2,000 seat hall, and you couldn't hear half of Heath Ledger's dialogue. And I watched it again in a smaller theater, and it just absolutely blew me away. I mean, I think it's for one thing, I mean, Heath Ledger, I think is I think that's the male performance of the year.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
pretty amazing.
He's marvelous. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about why he's up for lead actor and Jake Gyllenhaal
Yeah.
isn't, and there's the speculation that because Heath Ledger is the top, the more macho of the
Macho.
two, I guess.
The male
that,
of the two.
He's
that-
the top as opposed to the bottom.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, and one of the things that Brokeback Mountain has done is it's brought out all these questions of, how sexuality is portrayed in movies and what we recognize in acting. It's silly that people are praising Heath Ledger for how convincingly a straight guy plays a gay man when Rock Hudson played straight men all his career and never got an award.
The movie
well, see,
itself.
That's my thing about you talk about it's like so great that this is breaking new bounds, but it's like look at Rock Hudson, look at what's his name, Ray in The Crying Game. and all these different things. So, I mean, this is hardly like earth-shattering or brand new.
But it is. I mean,
look at Boys Don't Cry. I mean, I think a big part of it was a woman passing herself off as a boy.
Well,
Where, I mean, it's like the whole thing with Rachel Weisz in Transamerica is all about woman passing herself off
Felicity
as a guy.
Huffman.
Whatever. Same
Genius.
Thing.
No. I think in
Same thing.
Getting back to your original question, I think the big difference is that Brokeback Mountain is an unabashed mainstream weeper. I mean, it's like by far the most mainstream in tone and content of any of these movies that are up.
We could argue
Yeah,
this point too,
sure,
but
sure.
what I wanted to say about that is too that it's gross. I mean, for profit and all, it's what it costs like $4 million to make, and it's only made
14.5 million, and I think it had grossed like 78 as of last weekend.
It's amazing. And I get one of my little fun facts here. It said in its first weekend, it only played on 5 U.S. theaters, yet it's the highest per-screen gross of any non-animated movie in history.
Well,
Yeah, but I mean, that's the kind of thing. I mean, if you handpick your fine
in those
screens
5
really
theaters,
promote it,
though, right?
You're going to get that.
Right.
well, however, I mean,
Yeah, because Films That Suck had that at one point
yeah.
in that one theater. Okay.
Yeah.
But Variety actually did a story about about Brokeback Mountain's performance in Nashville, because the week before all these pundits had gone on Fox News and said, well, once this movie gets to the heartland, nobody's going to go see it. Bang! The movie gets on one screen at Green Hills, maybe 2, and makes $35,000 a screen. It's like maybe the highest
did
per
one
screen average
screen.
in the one screen.
And then
Highest
they
per
had to
screen
do an
average in the
interlock because
country,
they had
other
so
than
much demand.
I think the only place in the country that was higher was Milwaukee or someplace like that.
Wow.
So obviously the movie tapped into a
So
buzz.
the appeal is just sex between 2 men, because
No,
the
I
movie
don't
really
think so.
doesn't make
I
a
think,
statement. If it makes a
I
statement,
think
what
No,
is
the
it?
movie-
Nashville has so many gay cowboys, and that's why
That must be.
it played so well.
I think it's precisely because the movie doesn't make a statement. I think it's because the movie just says
It's a love story.
Here's this love story between and if you took the sex scenes and the romantic scenes out of it, which probably take up maybe, I'm guessing, 5 minutes of the movie.
You're right, there's not a
You've
lot of
got
that.
a movie about a lifelong friendship between 2 best friends who get along better with each other than they do with any of the women in their lives.
Let's go. I'm sorry. Let's go to the next one. We're going to run out of time here. Capote.
It's probably my least favorite movie of the bunch. I mean, I think Philip Seymour Hoffman's amazing, and he's I can't imagine him not winning Best Actor.
Really?
It's like Jamie Foxx and Ray. I mean, it's just one of those. It's
Well, plus he's
It
a
is.
6.5 to 1 favorite on the line.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
there's
okay.
there's the main thing.
All right.
I mean, did you see Capone?
I did.
I just thought it was just such a dreary and funereal movie, and I thought all the scenes with the 2 killers I thought were really really overplayed and really melodramatic, and I don't know. I mean, and this is such a silly thing, but I was so distracted by all the weird little visual tricks made to try to that they used to try to make large Philip Seymour Hoffman look like tiny Truman Capote.
Yeah. He lost 40 pounds for that role too. Do you know that?
Well, yeah, but you can't lose 8 or 10 inches, which
yeah,
is the
yeah.
Did
Okay.
you wear any prosthetic makeup?
I don't know, but they have him in long
so.
coats and things, and
Yeah.
they frame him in great big doorways.
I mean,
and,
that seems to only help if you're a female actress. Then you're insured of it.
And he was very, very quiet and subtle, I thought too. I mean, it just. And
Yes,
plus,
it's a performance. It starts out and you see nothing but the stunt, and as he goes along, you see like this really calculating, singular human being, and it's a good performance.
okay, let's go with Good Night and Good Luck.
I enjoyed that movie a whole lot. I mean, what did you think? Oh, well,
He saw Munich.
yeah.
I mean, 45 days ago, they were a 20 to 1 long shot, and then they suddenly dropped to a 17 to 1. long shot, so I think there's some to that, but it's a black and white.
It's a black and white, and it's a very
And
intellectual
that's a hard
movie,
sell for
too.
American audiences.
We were talking about that too. We both saw all 5 movies, but Good Night and Good Luck was very hard to follow intellectually for me. There's a lot of stuff being.
See, I can understand that criticism of Syriana, which I felt like was deliberately
That was
trying
really
to-
complicated, yeah.
And with some justification. I mean, you know, it's
Which
trying
personally
to.
I really liked and was sad to see it didn't get nominated.
Oh, really? I didn't know you actually saw a movie this last year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Actually, no, I slipped into producer mode there. Was it convincing?
That was awesome. You had no doubt.
Cool.
Good Night and Good Luck. The black and white was what I really liked about it. I mean, you know, is history, you know, it's one-sided and
It's black or white.
And yeah, exactly. But as just an evocation of what it was like to work at CBS News in this world of like, you know, dudes in horn rims and rolled up
Cigarette
sleeves,
smokers.
socking back bourbon and smoking.
Smoking.
I mean, it's just yeah, I could have watched, you know, an hour or more of that.
Do you think Clooney will take Best
I
Director
was going
for
to
that?
say, yeah. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think Ang Lee is probably going to get it for Brokeback Mountain, and I
12 to
think
1 favorite.
Ang Lee.
I think he deserves
Paul
it. I
Haggis.
think that's a beautiful job of direction.
What's-
and I'll
what's
tell
the
you
odds?
what, Brokeback Mountain is probably the best written
Paul
movie
Hanks.
of any of these.
Haggis,
Okay, well,
The writing is-
17.5 to 1 long shot.
Okay, well, let's go on to the last one, Crash. Both of us, it's our favorite movie and also our favorite director. We thought this, and I thought the story was amazing. I love the story, and I thought he should have won Best Director. He should win Best Director.
You know, I forgot about Crash. Crash was my least favorite of the bunch. Yeah,
funny.
Crash. I really liked when it started, and it just turned into one plot gimmick after another.
Wow.
You know, it's like there's the old the Chekhov dramatic adage about the gun that shows up in the first act will be
Right,
fired in the
right,
third.
right.
And this is like, you know, the gun and the blanks that are bought and all this stuff. You know, is, you know, if any stray plot detail is mentioned, it's going to turn up somewhere later in the movie.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna have to wrap it up. Tell us what's your pick. What was your pick for favorite movie?
My favorite of the bunch is probably Brokeback Mountain. Or
You think
know,
that'll win?
I think Brokeback Mountain will
Okay.
win.
And
Just based on the
numbers?
betting lines, I mean, Brokeback went from a 10 to 1 favorite to a 9 to 1 favorite in the last 45 days. But, you know, Crash, which I think could be a sleeper still, because it went from an 8 to 1 underdog to a 3.5 to 1 underdog in the last 45
wow.
days.
Well, I think
Okay.
I'm hoping for Crash, but I'm gonna go with Brokeback Mountain.
I think Crash is the one that everyone thinks could be the sleeper.
I'm
If
going on
anyone
the
is-
record
that
here.
If anyone is going to
Crash,
and
picture
Crash,
of the year.
and Crash is an LA movie, which
So,
you know, they-
Crash, Brokeback,
Yes.
Brokeback.
And I'm going to go as far as to say Paul Haggis will take Best Director. I'm going to say that
God,
David.
I hope
David Duke.
David Duke.
No, that Philip Seymour Hoffman will definitely take
Seymour
Best
Hoffman.
Actor.
I'd
Oh,
like
yeah,
to see
he-
Reese Witherspoon win Best Actress. I thought she was really good.
Jim
she-
Carter was
she's
never
not-
that cute. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it right now.
It's the movies, man.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to
You
see.
think Amadeus was that good looking? Come on.
But June Carter, I'm not going to get started on it. But I mean, she did teach herself to sing, and she taught. And
June Carter is a much more interesting and complex person than the character you get in the movie. But
something just fell.
It's the sword of Damocles.
That's Tom Hanks saying,
But
look,
look,
what about me, guys? What
Reese Witherspoon's a 5 to 1 favorite. Just to recap the
Okay.
tops, you know.
Who's favorite for actor?
Brokeback is a 9 to 1 favorite. Ang Lee, 12 to 1 favorite. Spielberg has a hard time coming off a similarity. Ang Lee has a very strong hit coming off a loss.
Actor?
Who
do we get for Best Actor?
He's tough. Best Actor, Philip Seymour Hoffman, 6.5 to 1 favorite.
Okay.
Reese Witherspoon, a 5 to 1 favorite. For supporting, it's Matt Dillon. No, Paul Giamatti
Paul
is a
Giamatti.
2.5 to 1 favorite.
Who should have won for Sideways
And
last
Rachel
year?
Weisz,
should
Rachel
have been
Weisz-
nominated for Sideways.
Rachel Weisz is a 3 to 1 favorite.
All right.
All right.
We're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for coming. The set's going to fall apart any minute now, so we got to wrap this
We
up.
have that effect on people.
Yeah, this is
Run
going to go
like
off
hell,
here.
people.
But
Run like hell.
all right, so thank you guys for coming, and we really appreciate your opinions and your educated guesses. And
Educate guesses. You're going to make me put a pimp smack on you right here in front of the audience, right?
so that's it. Let's wrap
All
it up,
right,
okay?
all right.
Thank you for watching. We are
Two guys who don't know crap about movies.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Wow, no one's ever done that.